What's up, droners, and welcome to this super important episode of Droner U. And today we're going to be talking about ND filters and why they're so important. First off, anytime anybody ever asks me, what do you need to get when you're getting a camera drone? I always say two things. Number one, extra batteries, because you need extra batteries. And number two is ND filters. So what are ND filters? Well, first of all, I'm wearing ND filters on my face right now, or pretty much like them, sunglasses. They're pretty much sunglasses for your drone. And what they do is allow you to have a better image with the shutter speed that you need to be flying at. Now, all this is gonna get really complicated and numbery and techy, and I'm gonna do my best to keep it as simple as possible and with some examples, but just bear with me, trust what I'm saying, and I promise you, you will have a better image in the end. So I know some people are gonna be asking me as they're looking in their drone and playing with their settings, like, B, why do I need an ND filter? Because I can just change the shutter speed and it will make the image darker or lighter. I can just do it in the camera. Why would I need to, set shutter speed and put an ND filter on it? The reason is if most professionals and pretty much all professional camera operators always want to keep their shutter speeds be pretty much double what their frame rate is. And on most of these drones, it's going to be 50. That's what you're going for. If you're 24 frames, 50 is the closest you're going to get. The reason for that is for the motion blur. The motion blur that you're going to be experiencing when you're at 50 frames is going to be as close to the human eye and as natural feeling as you can get. You get too high, then it starts going into like stop motion. Or if you get too low, then it starts to get way too blurry with motion. It doesn't look natural either. Obviously, you can do that for a creative effect, but most of us, we're always going to be going to be able to get a professional look and feel when we're flying our professional-like drones. For example, as you can see, as we're flying right now, I don't have any ND filter on here, and the shutter speed is way up, and it's look at the trees as I'm passing by them. Choppy, stop motion. This is not the kind of product you want to deliver to your client, and probably not the kind of thing you want to be editing with. And as you can see here, when you put the shutter speed lower, then there is this blurring effect that you normally don't want to have either. Same thing, you really want to have something that's more authentic to the eye, and that's what setting your shutter speed at double the frame rate will do for you. So there are some instances where creatively you will want to have this blurred or stop motion effect, and use it whenever you want to, but you should be wanting to do it on purpose. This should not just be how the footage looks because you're flying on a sunny day. You have ND filters that are able to compensate for that. So what I'm gonna do so that I'm not having the blurry or the stop motion jumpy kind of shots is put on my ND filters. And it just so happens to have that I have my favorite kind of ND filters right here. These are the DJI Mavic Pro edition for the Polar Pro. And Polar Pro are amazing because of the build quality and because they're polarized, which is awesome. Now, I'm not gonna say that these are the only filters you can get because there's a lot of different kind of filters, some of them from DJI, some from wherever. They're gonna work, they're gonna fit. The reason I take these is because the build quality, like these things are like made out of like copper and like they're like multi-coated glass and pretty much they're fancy. But fancy to me, when it comes to camera, means that it's going to last. And that's what's important. And it even comes in a little case. When you open it up, it even comes in a case that's even I'll just drop that. But it comes in a case that pretty much guarantees that it's gonna last a little bit longer. It comes with a 4, 8, and a 16 filter, all depending on how bright it is outside. You can just choose which one works best for you. Today, I'm gonna be using the 16 because obviously it is super bright out here. And this is, like I said, these are fancy, and that is what I like. I like fancy because they're gonna last for me and they're gonna last forever unless I do something really stupid. All right, and to install these onto a Mavic, because these are meant for a Mavic, all you have to do is they look, as you can see, it's like a little cap with like a little filter thing inside of it, which is cool. And for all you have to do on the Mavic is just hold your gimbal, make sure you hold it tight, and you pretty much just stick it right on there. It just falls right on, and it fits on there perfect. It's like snug, and trust me, I normally actually just keep it on here. To be honest, I just keep it on when I'm traveling with it because normally I fly in sunny weather. And there you go. You're installed and you're ready to go. That's how you install the ND filter from Polar Pro. So now I'm flying with the Polar Pro filter on, and as you can see with my camera settings, I'm flying at 24 frames, so the closest I can get to that is to have it at 50, the shutter speed to be at 50, or 1/50th, we're gonna call it 50 because that's all you see on the screen. But you can see the image looks amazing. This is professional quality image. This is what an image is supposed to look like. And like I said, the rule of thumb is always to do your best to double the frames per second. Some of my clients are television and they like to shoot in 30 frames a second. So obviously the drone can do that. All I do is change it to 30 frames a second and I change the shutter speed to 60. And sometimes you want to shoot in a little bit of slow motion, do the same thing as well. If you're shooting in 60 frames a second, then just take your shutter speed up to 120 and you're gonna look professional as well. So the rule of thumb is that as close as you can get to double your frame rate, then that is going to be the best image you can have that is simulating the natural look of your eye. Droners, thank you for checking out this awesome, informative episode of Droner U. And if you want to see more Droner U episodes, you can click right here because I do the dinosaur arms when I'm standing up. Or if you want to see the dopest intro video ever, you can click right here because it's absolutely amazing. As always, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button or check out our Patreon page because that's what allows us to do what we're doing. And make sure you stay fly.